What's this sudden deal happened between the US and India that made Donald Trump roll back tariffs on Indian goods? We all know just a few months ago, Trump had threatened India with an additional 25% tariff and even warned of penalties going up to 50 to 100% because India continued buying Russian oil despite US pressure. India didn't back down, and now suddenly there is a turnaround. US tariffs on Indian goods have been cut from 25% to 18%, and the extra penalty linked to Russian oil has been dropped. So what really changed and how does this deal affect you? Hello, you're watching Quick Explain with Khatija on Lokmat Times. Let's break down the surprise US-India trade deal in simple terms, what's in it, why it happened, and what it means for the common man. So a few months back, tensions were high. The US imposed a 25% reciprocal tariff on Indian goods and warned of even harsher penalties because India kept buying discounted Russian oil, something the US strongly opposed due to the Ukraine war. India stood firm, saying affordable energy was a priority and it wouldn't compromise on that. And then came a phone call on February 2nd, 2026. After speaking to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Donald Trump announced a breakthrough. Instead of escalating tariffs, the US decided to reset trade ties. Trump called it a win for friendship and respect between the two countries. Soon after, Trump posted on Truth Social saying US tariffs on Indian goods would immediately drop from 25% to 18% and the additional 25% penalty linked to Russian oil would be removed. According to Trump, India has agreed to stop buying Russian oil and shift towards US oil. He also said India would commit to over $500 billion in Buy American purchases, covering energy, technology, agriculture, coal, and more, with both sides aiming for zero tariffs in the long run. Prime Minister Narendra Modi publicly thanked Trump, saying Made in India products will now face lower tariffs in the US. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal also welcomed the move and hinted that talks are still ongoing. There was no denial on oil purchases or the massive buying commitment, suggesting quiet agreement between both sides. So, does this mean India is saying goodbye to Russian oil? Quietly, yes. That's the biggest shift. Russian crude made up around 40% of India's oil imports last year because it was cheaper. Moving to US oil could mean slightly higher fuel cost in the short term, possibly a 5 to 10% impact. But the bigger gain is avoiding a tariff war and maintaining stable trade relations with the US. It's important to clear one thing, this does not mean all tariffs are gone. The 18% tariff still exists, but it's a meaningful cut that saves Indian exporters billions of dollars. And now what does this mean for the common man? First, jobs stay safer. Lower US tariffs will help Indian exports like textiles, pharmaceuticals, and gems, reducing the risk of jobs losses in export hubs like Mumbai and Surat. Second, cheaper imports. Increased access to US agricultural products and technology such as phones and laptops could make these items more affordable over time and helps ease inflation. Third, fuel prices may rise slightly in the short term. Petrol and diesel could see a small hike but a larger scale. Long-term energy deals can help stabilize global prices, especially with India pushing electric vehicles. Now fourth, markets reacted positively. Sensex and Nifty jumped, which is good news for investors, mutual funds, and small business owners. So overall, this deal helps India avoid price shocks from a tariff war, supports exports, protects jobs, and keeps the growth story on track. Trump gets a political win, Modi avoids trade pressure, and India moves ahead without a trade conflict. Now what do you think? Was this a smart move? Let us know in the comments below.